Schlight MMA. Excuse me for my voice sounding a little raspy. Currently recovering from a little illness. Everyone's asking me, Slight, where's the reaction video? Slight, what's the next fights to make? I'm sorry I had to take care of myself, but I'm gonna try to muscle this video out for you guys. Because we got 57 views on the last video. Growth, analytics, stocks high. If I was on Kalshi, I'd put money on me as well. But anyway, I have 10 fights that we need to make post UFC 326, so on and so forth. So let's go to the PowerPoint. A little editing. Bam, we're in the PowerPoint. First fight, Jared Cannonier versus Mr. Hernandez. I was looking at the rankings and possible opponents for Hernandez, and I don't think that he can fight anybody above him. I think he's ranked 7th. Jared's, I think, like 10, 11. So I think this would be a good fight. I think the UFC kind of pushes towards guys that they want. I think they like Hernandez. Jared Cannonier, it's kind of just a can in the middleweight division now, unfortunately. I enjoy watching him fight, but the boy lost to MVP, who we'll be talking about later. But yeah, this fight, I think that it could probably Apex headline. Anthony Hernandez needs a win to get back into the title picture, and I think this is a good lob that the UFC could throw for him. I was looking at maybe doing a rematch with Brendan Allen, but that was fairly close, or not that long ago, or fighting versus Israel Adesanya. I feel like that could be a good fight, but I don't think anybody wants to see Izzy get wrestled again, so I think this is a safe match to go with. Along with excuse me, Benoit Saint Denis versus Charles Oliveira. I think I already had this in my last fight prediction video, but we're doing it again because I only had 9 fights. So I think I don't think the UFC is going to get rid of the BMF belt. I think that they're still going to play into it, and this is a more stylistic matchup that could sell for a BMF fight. BSD, special ops for the French. It's French, so call it what you will, but still bad A. And then Charles, the GOAT. He's just gonna be he's not gonna be like a roofie for BSD. He's not gonna be like a Dariush and get canned off a fucking jab to the nose. I think Charles makes pretty easy work of him, and then maybe that could set up for a fight versus Arman if he's not gonna fight for the belt. I got a random pick for Arman on here, so just bear with me on that. But yeah, this is a cool fight. If they want to go with the BMF route, this is definitely a better stylistic matchup rather than having him fight like the Max and Charles fight. If it's going to be a grappling match and winner wins by control, people aren't going to be a fan of that, because I think Charles is just going to have a different game plan than what he did versus Topuria. I know he did try to grapple with him, and Topuria got out of it, but I feel like he probably could have went for a couple more body locks rather than that sequence where he got murdered. So tough for Charlie, but I think this is the fight to make for the BMF title. Caio Borralho versus Joe Pyfer. I was kind of going back and forth because I would not be surprised if they did Imavov versus Joe Pyfer. Both of them TKO'd Izzy, obviously. I mean, it's either these two or DDP or Imavov. I wouldn't be surprised if they did DDP versus Caio Borralho. I think that they do like Caio. so I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him that #1 contender fight. Or yeah, I think he's #1 contender. Imavov's too, but yeah, Imavov, he obviously, I don't know. Sub Kyle for Imavov, either or. We'll go Imavov first. I could see him like not wanting to fight DDP, and he's gonna want to fight someone lower in the rankings because he's already fought the #1 contender, which was Izzy at the time, I believe. So I could see him fight an up and coming like Joe, which may be a safer match for him, so he can get that title fight. I think that he isn't gonna get. I think he didn't get the title fight because he's boys with Khamzat. So, however long that lasts, but yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did Joe Pyfer versus Imavov. But I put Kyle. So let's talk about this. Kyle asked for DDP. Might get him, but I think he was there watching the Joe Pyfer fight. I think that this is a good #1 contender fight. Next one fights for the belt. I think both of these guys have a good shot versus Khamzat. I don't think either of them would win, as we saw with Joe's takedowns. He really couldn't take down Izzy, which he has good takedown defense, but he couldn't take him down as easy until he got Izzy to kind of fight his fight, which was a dumb move by him. But I'm not in the ring or in the cage, so. But this fight it's a good fight stylistically. I think that Kyle with the calf kicks will put Joe at more danger, because Izzy was chopping his leg with the calf kick, and you could see that he was like walking on it softly. So I think Kyle has a really good calf kick. I think he's going to take his leg out, and I don't think Joe will be able to grapple Kyle like he did with Izzy. Because watching him fight RDR, I mean, he had a couple cage grabs, and RDR, I don't know about Kyle's grappling. I mean, it didn't look that great versus Cannonier, didn't look that great versus RDR. He was trying to be more on the feet, but he's a big dude, so it's definitely a different fight for him stylistically, Joe, than the Izzy fight, obviously. So yeah, body bags, Braulio, book it. Also, book this one. Michael Venom Page versus Gregory Rodriguez. I know I said through RDR, RoboCop. RDR's moving up in the rankings to lightweight. And MVP, I saw in an interview with Ariel Helwani that he was talking about which weight class he wants to fight for the belt. He's like, which weight class would you prefer? And I think welterweight's just too messy right now. I think that with Carlos JDM, with Ilya potentially moving up, with Brady Buckley, however that plays out, and old boy, blanking on his name, who just beat Brady. I apologize. I cannot. Obviously know who it is. I'm just blanking on his name. So we're moving on because he's not in this video. But yeah, I think he was gonna get in the middleweight, go back there, and I think this is a fight that MVP can actually make it exciting. I know he's more on the back foot, bouncing in and out, landing a quick 1-2. I think RoboCop is just going to stand more in front of him, which is going to put him at risk of getting chinned and maybe give us a cool MVP knockout. But I mean, this is also a tough test. I think RoboCop is better than Cannonier, even though he lost. But I mean, he's just huge, strong, powerful in the hands. MVP, I don't see him getting slimed out at all. I feel like he moves too well, and Greg's just a little more stiff. So I could see this being just another MVP decision. But I think this is a way more exciting fight than putting him versus fucking Chris Duncan or Tim, whoever it was, the UK can. Like, terrible, boring fight from the UK card. But I don't think MVP, like, I'm an MVP fan, so I'm gonna ride for him regardless. But I think this is a very good fight to get him back in the middleweight conversation. And then after this, he could maybe fight like Hernandez, maybe I wouldn't even be too mad if they booked him versus Adesanya. I think that'd be a good fight. Probably very boring. I think they'll both wait for each other to engage. Kind of like we'll see an Izzy from like the Yoel Romero fight. And we'll see MVP waiting for him to close the distance on him, and it's not gonna happen. So I like this fight a little better. I do like the Izzy fight, but I got some other plans for Izzy, and we'll talk about it later because we're talking about Kevin Vallejos versus Aljamain Sterling. This is assuming that Aljamain Sterling is going to beat Useless Zalal. I'm not a fan of the guy because, I mean, he subbed Josh Emmett and he's acting like he should have got a title shot. But yeah, congrats, buddy. You subbed Josh Emmett. This guy murdered Josh Emmett in one round. Vallejos is a great striker, and I think that this would be a great win. I think Vallejos would win this fight. But when I think Aljamain fights like next month, April 25th, I believe. I think that's enough time. I could see him having a clean fight and getting back in early. Probably fighting in like August or something. So I think this fight just makes a little more sense. Kind of test Vallejos in the grappling game a little bit more. While Aljo has better hands than Josh Emmett. Not nearly as much as power, but he can strike a little better than him. He had a close fight versus Imavov. I was surprised that Imavov won, but I was also at work, so I wasn't really locked into it. But yeah, this is a sick fight. This could be a title contender fight. Nothing really is, but yeah, I don't think they'll book Gene Silva with him. I think they'll probably wait till one of them has the belt, and they'll build that story. All these guys fight on the Contender Series, and now they're fighting for the belt. Like, do the Contender Series. The Contender Series is where to go. I think they're gonna try and promote that, so they're gonna skip this title elimination fight for Gene Silva and Vallejos, and they're gonna wait till one of them becomes champ, because I think that those two are probably the next ones that are gonna be champ once Volk leaves. I see Gene beating Diego in a rematch. I think he just needs to not be so sped in the fight. He's got to be less emotionful and just fight his fight. He was doing spinning he did like 3 spinning elbows in his fight, that final round versus Lopez, and like he just put himself in a bad situation. But like, he was outstriking Lopez for a little bit of the fight, and I think if he just doesn't do that bullshit, then he could definitely beat Lopez. But yeah, I think Vallejos wins this one, but this is a great fight to get him up more in the rankings, assuming that he beats Zalal. Yeah, if not, book Zalal. So I got 2 UK blokes. Can I not do this? Am I not allowed? I feel like we never see guys fight from the same country. Why? Like, it makes no sense. Maybe they've trained together, I don't know at all. But Arnold Allen, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a good fight. He's a good fighter of the round. Yeah, I've trained with him a couple times. Just an Oh My Days card. If they fought, it would tear the country of England apart. But this is assuming that he beats Costa. I think he fights in May. I think he beats him. I think he's He didn't get knocked out by Gene Silva, so I don't see him getting knocked out by Costa. And Arnold Allen's a solid fighter. Very sound on the feet. Good grappling. Solid grappling. I think Lerone would have to try and grapple with him. I think he would get outstruck on the feet. But I mean, you could do like a Gene Silva Lerone, but it sounded like he's going to be hurt. I think his hip or something. So he's going to be out for a while. And I think when Arnold fights in May, June, July, August, September, they could come back maybe like October, December time. Get these guys to fight against each other. I don't think that we should really be worried about them being from England unless they're like really in the same gym. But I mean, they had MVP fight old buddy last card, and they've trained together, so book it. Israel Adesanya versus CLD, Mr. Leroy Duncan. I watched his last fight, beat Dolidze, TKO, and I mean, I just don't know where you go with Izzy from here. I was just looking at the rankings. He's moved up to like 13. This fight, I'm not huge on it, but I think this is a winnable fight for Izzy, and this is also a good contention fight for CLD. He's a solid striker, and Izzy looks solid in all his fights, but then he just tweaks. Like he was doing good versus DDP, then he got subbed. Doing good versus Imavov, and then just got one punch just knocked to the cage, and Imavov just like a bead of honey just got up on him. And I just don't see CLD finishing Izzy, and I don't see Izzy losing a decision. So I think you could sell this fight, up and coming guy, but I don't think he's that great. I think this is a fight where you can get Izzy back into just the win column at this point. Shit, it's tough to see him go out like this, because, you know, I got into the UFC not too long ago, and all I've seen is him lose. I literally just watch his highlights, and I'd see like clips. I remember I posted him when he knocked out Pereira. Had no idea the lore on that fight, and that's me being real. You know, I'm a new guy, so some of these picks might not make sense, but I know I kind of know ball. So get these guys, and I'm done talking about that one. Dan Hooker versus Patti Dabati. Dan Hooker is the little gay boy, Dan Hooker. This could be a fun fight. I was kind of pushing for Arman Paddy, but it's just hard when Paddy's only beat Michael Chandler in the rankings. Obviously lost to Justin Gaethje. Close, fun fight, and I feel like this could be a fun fight. I think Paddy would dominate, but they obviously have beef with each other. Be good on the mic. It'd be a great featured fight on like the McGregor card, because I think they're gonna do Max. I don't have Max in this video, but I've heard that they're probably gonna do Max versus McGregor. I saw Bedtime did Leon versus McGregor, and I think that's a fire fight, trying to build McGregor back up. But it sounded like they're gonna go with Max. I think Max dominates him. I think yeah, I don't need to talk about them, but yeah, Max Connor, that's what I have. I didn't put it in this slide, but Dan Hooker, Paddy, just the hate for each other. Like, we got to bring back more hated fights, like the Hamzat versus Strickland. Gonna be generational. Them on the mic is gonna be fire. That's going to sell. These guys are going to sell, especially if they're on a huge card. Not even a huge card, but just like a good title fight. Should not be 5 rounds. Dan Hooker's looked pretty shite recently, and once again, I think they like Paddy, so they're gonna throw him a lob, and then maybe they could book that Arman fight, depending on how clean he gets. So yeah, book it, get him on the mic at a big press conference, and that'd be a lot of fun. Okay. Before we say anything, I think Arman is gonna fight for the title next, whether that be a vacated lightweight belt versus Charles, which I could definitely see if Topuria moves up, and definitely if Charles beats BSD, but I don't even think Topuria would want to fight BSD. But if he doesn't, and I think Gamrot fights Ribovic at 327, if he doesn't, or he's going to beat him, so that's why obviously I have him up on here. And people forget, man. People forget that Arman Tsarukyan lost to Gamrot in a, I don't know if it was UD or split, but the reason why this fight didn't happen again is because Gamrot lost a close split decision versus Dan Hooker, and then obviously lost to Charles. But honestly, I can't see him getting doing another fight that's not for the belt. I kind of just put this on here for really no reason. But if Gamrot wins, kind of puts him back in that spot, or he'll fight like Emmanuel Torres. Yeah, I don't really know why I put this on here, to be honest. We don't really have to talk about it anymore. We can talk about Arman versus Charles for the vacated lightweight belt. But then I think Ilya will definitely come down. And shoot. Yeah, I don't know. I hope Ilya fights Islam after Islam fights Ian Gary. I think all those fights should happen. I think that's it. No. Ooh. Bam. Magomed Ankalaev, Big Ank, versus Khalil Roundtree. Don't know why Magomed hasn't booked a fight yet. He didn't take really any damage. I think he had a broken rib going into the Pereira fight, allegedly. But yeah, this is Khalil looked good versus Yuri, and Khalil's been dominant. He was very dominant versus Jamal Hill, dominant versus Yuri until round 3, and got starched by Yuri. I think this is a fun fight. You could do a Jan Blachowicz, but no one wants to see that. I think Big Ank versus someone more dangerous like Khalil Roundtree is a lot more exciting. So, book it. They haven't fought before, right? Live Google, guys. You're getting a slight MMA live Google search. Khalil Roundtree versus Ankalaev. I'm gonna edit this out, don't worry. Don't you worry, I'm gonna edit this out. Yeah, no, they did not fight, I don't think. So, yeah, Ank's striking is underrated. He's definitely a solid striker. He's got KO power. So does Khalil. Khalil's a lot smaller, but this would be a good fight stylistically. I don't think Ank would shoot on him. People just kind of associate with him with shooting takedowns. He more just clinches up. Like, I don't even think in the Pereira fight he really took him down like that. Pereira was just, he was like sick. I genuinely think, I believe that excuse, that he was sick and his hand was busted, and that's why he lost. But yeah, this is a good fight. I could see Khalil getting a more up and coming guy. But I mean, I don't think they should exclude him from the title picture, because he did have a close fight with Yuri that he would have won if he would have survived. But he didn't. He got slammed, and then Yuri's getting the belt back. And I think that is it. So, quick editing real quick. Bam! Back to the Slight MMA YouTube channel. We're growing. Analytics. It looks like Mount Everest right now. The way we just keep going up. So, hope this video does well. And I don't think I'll be breaking down the Moicano fight. And then I think the 327 is the one next, if I am not wrong. Let's do another quick edit. Bam! Another quick edit. Moicano and Duncan, and yeah, Prochazka Oldberg is the week after. So banger. Moicano Duncan, there's really no one on it. They got that Ethan Ewing guy that beat Wellmaker in the main card for his second fight. Good for that, bro, but I don't think anybody really cares. They do have that Tommy Guns, the dude from Sean's camp, who won on the Contender Series. Again, I mean, maybe the guy he fought was just tough, but like I wasn't really too impressed with him. But I'm sure Tim Welch will make me change my mind a little bit. But we'll see. So won't be breaking down that. I'll definitely be breaking down the Prochazka Oldberg. Damn near the whole card. Yeah, Kevin Gastelum and Benite Luque. Tatiana Suarez, Kevin Holland, Gamrot. Yeah, this fight card's sick. Pitbull, Pico. Yeah. Very excited for this. One of the best name valued cards we've had in a while. And the Seattle card was one of the best cards I've watched. So very excited for what's coming up in the UFC. The summer is probably going to be really crazy. We're going to get Islam. We're going to get, hold up, another real quick edit. Bam. I'm him at the editing. But yeah, a lot of exciting fights coming up. Yeah, this summer, Islam. We're going to get McGregor return. We're going to get the White House card. So very excited, and that is all she wrote. Thank you, and God bless.